Hello and welcome to the Change Gang podcast with me, your host, Laura Ordile. I'm here to help you hold on to your sanity and your soul as you move through big change. I'm here to guide you from frustration to flow in your life, bridging the practical and the woo, just for you. Let's go. Welcome to the week, Change Gang. We are going to chat today about habits. Changing them, clearing them, creating new ones, moving in a direction that you want to move for yourself. And having the habits to support that, because our life is built on habits. Things that we do every day that we repeat regularly, almost automatically, often without even being aware of them. And they can either sometimes be positive or negative. We might have a negative habit that we really need to change or clear, or we might need to create a new positive habit. And they're formed oftentimes through repetition and reinforcement. Habits come from that repetition and reinforcement. And I know that sometimes they can be a true challenge to change. At least they have been for me. Some people might be able to just hop in and decide one day and that's it. They change whatever it is that they want to change. And then there's some of us that need a little extra because they go deep. Those habits go deep. They're ingrained in the subconscious mind, and often they can be associated with really strong emotions or psychological situations. And I talked a little bit about that in last week's episodes about recognizing how you might have a subconscious block was the term that I used going on. It can also be around what some would term as a habit. The process of habit formation begins with that cue or an anchor, which I also talk about. I've talked about anchors a few times, but an anchor can be as simple as a song that you heard when you were super happy, and now it's anchored in that every time you hear that song, it's going to make you super happy. Or maybe it's the one that your first breakup is something, that song that you listen to on repeat. So now when you hear it, maybe it's a sad time and you don't want to hear it anymore. But these things, these cues or these anchors, signal to our brain that it's time to engage in a particular behavior, that habit, that action. And this sometimes can cause situations of stress or anxiety or, yes, happiness, absolutely. But it triggers something for us inside that says, I need you to feel like this and do this. And so once the cue is recognized, our brains move into the next phase, that habit formation, which is the routine or the behavior itself. And this is the part of the habit where we actually do it. Whether it's biting your nails, having a drink, smoking the cigarette, eating the candy bar, procrastinating. Procrastination is a habit. Whatever it is, now your brain says, oh, yep, we're going to do that. And then there's often a reward or a reinforcement that follows that habit, that routine. And then that reward reinforces the habit loop and increases the likelihood of repeating the behavior. And the reward might just be that in that moment, it feels better. When you go and you have that drink, you have that moment where it feels good. Or I personally haven't smoked, but I know that for a lot of people, that cigarette is in the moment a relief. I know sometimes food, definitely food. For me, it's sweets. Can be that, it's heaven. It just feels so good in your body, that instant rush. That's the reward. So then it reinforces, ooh, that's good. We like that. And so then your subconscious is going to go, yes, that keeps her happy. Let's keep doing that. And it creates the habit. So sometimes changing the habit can be difficult. It can take a lot of time. It's actually a process of rewiring the neural pathways in your brain and that have become associated with that habit. So the length of time that it takes to change it varies depending on different factors, including the complexity of the habit, the strength of it, how much you've strengthened that habit loop over the years, and how your body reacts to different things. And absolutely, your motivation for that change is going to make a difference. And a lot of times you'll hear that, it's 21 days to take on or change a habit, but it can be anywhere on an easy scale of that 21 to maybe 60 something days, or even on those more complex ones, months up to a year to change. So oftentimes when I'm working with people who are trying to change something like their confidence levels or the imposter syndrome, they've been working on it for a long time. They've been working on it and it's just not clearing because, first of all, they may be doing that loop thing where something's being reinforced, and that could be sometimes not having to do something in that loop, that confidence loop. Maybe the person who wants to get up and speak isn't speaking, and so they have that relief. I don't have to speak because they're not doing it, and they need to do it. They need to create the feeling of feeling confident and okay getting up in front of people and doing that. But it's rooted and rewarded in not doing it. So it can be really difficult to change as it's rooted in that subconscious mind that I talk about so often. And our subconscious is responsible for controlling so many different things, our automatic behaviors, our responses, and it operates on a level often outside of that conscious awareness. So habits are stored in that subconscious as patterns of neural activity that are triggered by specific cues. Those anchors that I talked about, that song that comes on, the smell that you smell, or the sound that you hear, or the conversation that you have. And so then it triggers into that habit. It might be that when you get home every day, you're used to having the habit of sitting down and having a drink. That was one of mine. It was. I would come home, and as I would take off my work boots, I would pour myself a glass of wine. And so you have to change the habit. I wanted to drink less, feel better, do more things instead of just going to that. So I had to change the habit, or I had to replace my wine with a different habit. So establishing a new one is often very beneficial, desirable, and yet can be difficult. And so this is where hypnosis, NLP steps in. And I, again, talked about this a little bit. Definitely go back and listen to last week's episode. It talks more about this, and I've done a couple other episodes on NLP, on hypnosis individually. You can go and have a listen, but it's a powerful tool for changing habits, to stop biting your nails, to stop emotionally eating, to look for the healthier way of doing whatever it is that you're doing, to build the confidence, to release the procrastination and instead move into the motivation. And it goes in to the subconscious mind and works directly with those neural patterns that have built those habits. During the hypnosis session, the hypnotherapist goes in and makes those positive suggestions, often asking the subconscious mind to go and find and bring about the best possible solution, because it knows so many more things than what we know. And then just reinforcing some of the things and the feelings that you want to feel in that change, so that it can go in and rewire and change those neural patterns, change the pathway for things to happen. And you can adopt that new way quicker and easier than trying to force it to happen on your own. And oftentimes it's in ways that are just so easy and flowing and replacing old ways that just no longer work. They just don't. They're not serving you anymore. And I love that. I love that. It feels so good to know that that change is happening. I'm moving beyond the barriers of often the repetition of those habits. and establishing the new patterns of thought first, which then leads to behavior. And it becomes more aligned with our goals and our desires and all of those things. And it is absolutely possible to establish those new patterns of thoughts and behavior and be more aligned with your goals and your desires by working directly with the subconscious mind and addressing all of those underlying emotional things, psychological things, physical, neural things that are going on, those pathways, and establishing ones that support health, happiness, well-being, abundance, confidence, clarity, all of that. How incredible is that we can do that just by going in and doing a little bit of hypnosis, a little bit of NLP. I cannot stress to you enough how much this has changed my life, which is why I talk and share about it, that I believe it can help yours. I believe that, or I would not take the time to reiterate even some of these things. I've talked a little bit about hypnosis, about NLP, but I want you to know that you too can do this. It really is about finding the quickest, easiest way so that you can move into the success and the happiness that you desire in the way that you want it in your life. Does that sound good? I think it sounds good. It sounds good to me. If it sounds good to you, then now's the time to book an appointment with me. Book a conversation with me. It's free. Go in and claim that free conversation and come chat with me and say, yes, I do want to clear this old habit. I do want to stop turning to food for comfort. I do want to feel so confident and ready that I can stand up in front of that crowd and have that conversation, do that speech that I know is inside of me. Because I would love to do it. I would love to share the things that I have to say in the world. Say that to yourself. That's about you. Getting out and sharing what you have to offer in the world. Showing up for yourself and for those people that are waiting for you. And they're out there waiting for you. I know they are. Because I know that you were waiting for me to say the things that I've just said. Because it's meaningful to you. You're listening to this. You want the change. You want something that will move you along in a way that feels good and right. In a way that supports you, that helps you, that oftentimes is just about you showing up. The effort is in you showing up. That's it. The rest we go in and do and allow your subconscious to go to work. How cool is that? How effortless is that? It's amazing. And I hope you take me up on that free conversation anytime. And if you're ready to just jump in and book in, jump into the basic program that I have. That will change everything for you. It absolutely will. If you want to go a little deeper, I've got a premium program that I absolutely would love to share with you. Let's talk. But even if you're not ready for either of those, if you're ready to just ask questions about it, to just take that next step and say, I don't know that I'm ready to move forward, but I know that I need to know more. Book that 20-minute call with me. Let's get clear on what you do need to do going forward, what you do know that you want, you need, you can have. I'm ready. Are you ready? I think you're ready. You've listened all the way to the end of this. I think you're ready. All right. I hope that this has been helpful to you, meaningful in some way, and that I get to chat with you. You can find me on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, and you can email me directly through the podcast or come and collect that 20-minute call to have a conversation with me. In the meantime, have a great week, and I will meet you right here, same time, next week. Ciao. I hope today's episode was interesting to you in some way and fun? If so, hey, find someone to share it with. Maybe they need to hear it too, or maybe they'll just enjoy it. If you'd like, go ahead and grab my tips on supercharging your success. It includes a free short meditation to do just that. You can find that at bit.ly/supercharge your success. Until next time, happy day.